Hello, and welcome. Thanks for joining me today as we take a look at the life and career of, quote, the sexiest man alive, the one and only, Ravishing Rick Rude. As a child, I despised Ravishing Rick Rude, who played the role of a villain in wrestling. He was incredibly irritating, always boasting about his physical appearance and relying on his manager, Bobby the Brain Heenan, to defeat formidable opponents. It is understood that being exceptional in the wrestling ring is a given, but not every superstar possesses the ability to effectively engage with the audience and establish a distinctive persona by using a microphone. However, Ravishing Rick Rude not only had these skills, but he also excelled at them. Rude is likely to be most well known for his tenure in WWE during the late 1980s, which can be considered the pinnacle of his career. As a part of the notorious Heenan family, Rude gained fame for his pre-match speeches where he would typically mock the audience. With Bobby Heenan by his side, the duo managed to form one of the most seamless alliances ever witnessed in WWE, a pairing that has rarely been matched. After winning a match, Rude would frequently select a young female fan from the audience and surprise her with a passionate kiss. In doing so, he presented himself as a desirable figure for women. Looking back now, after many years, I have developed a deep respect for him and an immense admiration for his career. Rude participated in professional wrestling from 1982 until he retired in 1994 due to an injury, with his final match taking place in 1997. Throughout his career, he achieved numerous accomplishments, including being a four-time world champion, a three-time WCW International World Heavyweight Champion, one-time WCWA World Heavyweight Champion, one-time WWF Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion, and a one-time WCW United States Heavyweight Champion. Rude also had opportunities to challenge for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship and the NWA World Heavyweight Championship on pay-per-view events, notably headlining SummerSlam in 1990 for the former. Following his retirement from wrestling, Rude transitioned into managing multiple wrestlers. In late 1997, Rude founded the D-Generation X stable alongside Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Chyna. On November 17th of that year, in the midst of the Monday Night Wars, he became the only person to appear on the WWF's Raw and WCW's Monday Nitro programs on the same night, as the former was pre-recorded and Rude had left for WCW in the interim. He was posthumously inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2017. Rude was brought into the world in St. Peter, Minnesota to Richard Clyde Rude and Sally Jean Thompson. He studied at Robbinsdale High School in Robbinsdale, Minnesota alongside Tom Zink, Brady Boone, Nikita Koloff, Kurt Hennig, John Nord, and Barry Darsow, all of whom would later pursue careers as wrestlers. He shared a particularly strong bond with his childhood companion Kurt Hennig. After completing his studies in physical education at Anoka Ramsey Community College, Rude briefly worked as a bouncer before giving arm wrestling a try. It was during this time that he gained recognition in the world of professional wrestling. Rude received training as a wrestler from Eddie Sharkey, who was also responsible for training notable wrestling talents such as Bob Backlund, the Road Warriors, Sean Waldman, Austin Aries, and Eric Rowan. In 1982, he entered the world of wrestling under the name Ricky Rude, working as a good guy jobber. His first appearance on television didn't go well, as he lost to Joss LeDuc on the November 6, 1982 episode of Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. After his time in Vancouver's NWA All-Star Wrestling, he went on to compete in Georgia Championship Wrestling and then in the Continental Wrestling Association based in Memphis. Rude made his first appearance on the May 28, 1983 episode of World Championship Wrestling, where he defeated Pat Rose using a dropkick. The following week, Rude was interviewed by Gordon Solie, during which he talked about his transition from arm wrestling to professional wrestling and how he had to lose weight in order to improve his speed. In 1984, Rude returned to Memphis with a new persona as Ravishing Rick Rude, a cocky and arrogant villain managed by Jimmy Hart. He engaged in feuds with Jerry Lawler and later his former tag team partner, King Kong Bundy. Rude also had a match in WCCW against Kamala, which he unfortunately lost. He then moved on to Jim Crockett Promotions, an affiliate of the National Wrestling Alliance, where he teamed up with various partners to feud with the Road Warriors. Rude was brought on board by Championship Wrestling from Florida in December 1984, with Percy Pringle serving as his manager. On January 16, 1985, he emerged victorious over Pez Whatley to claim the NWA Florida Southern Heavyweight Championship. However, his reign was short-lived as he surrendered the title to Brian Blair on April 10, 1985. Undeterred, Rude regained the championship on July 20, 1985, after defeating Mike Graham in the finals of a Southern title tournament. He held on to the championship belt until October 2nd of the following year, when he gave it up to Wahoo McDaniel. McDaniel was responsible for organizing events in Florida at that specific time. On April 16, 1985, he and Jesse Barr emerged victorious in the NWA Florida United States Tag Team Championship. They faced off against Billy Jack Haynes and Wahoo McDaniel in intense rivalries for the titles. However, they eventually lost the championship belts to McDaniel and Haynes on July 9, 1985. In October 1985, Rude made his debut in World Class Championship Wrestling alongside Pringle. There, he engaged in rivalries with Kevin Von Erich and Chris Adams. During his tenure in WCCW, Rude achieved success by winning the NWA American Heavyweight Championship on November 4, 1985. However, on February 20, 1986, WCCW decided to separate from the NWA and rebranded itself as the World Class Wrestling Association. The WCWA World Heavyweight Championship was given a new name, the NWA American Championship, while Rude was still the title holder. This made Rude the first world champion in the promotion. In July 1986, he lost the title to Chris Adams and subsequently dismissed Pringle as his manager. For a brief period, he enlisted his sister, Raven, as his replacement manager. Rude formed a tag team with the Dingo Warrior, but their partnership was short-lived as the Warrior betrayed him and turned into a fan favorite. In September 1986, Rude made his return to Jim Crockett Promotions and teamed up with Manny Fernandez and their manager Paul Jones to feud with Wahoo McDaniel. Rude and Fernandez, collectively known as the Awesome Twosome, captured the NWA World Tag Team Championship on December 6, 1986 by defeating the Rock and Roll Express. This victory sparked a heated rivalry between the two teams, which only came to an end when Rude departed for the World Wrestling Federation in April 1987.